Hey! So, usually this channel is about all things ABBA and their solo work, but every now and then there are some completely different themes, either because there is a very special occasion or I'm simply in the mood for it. Last year we honored the legacy of Olivia Newton-John, but we were also on tour in London for Mr. Bean locations. Today we are celebrating the 80th birthday of George Harrison, and I want to dedicate this Saturday evening by talking about my favorite albums of George. From all members of the Beatles, his solo work is the most fascinating one for me, the one I really enjoy the most. He released 12 solo albums between 1968 and 2002, and I will go through 3 of my favorites. But before that, I need to mention 2 albums. The first album after the end of the Beatles, All Things Must Pass, is generally regarded as his masterpiece. Undoubtedly, this is my all-time favorite album of George Harrison. It has epic proportions and stunning qualities. It's a coherent work of art with impeccable flow, richness, and the full-on wall of sound experience by Phil Spector, which I always loved so much on this album. A second big favorite is his final album released in his lifetime, Cloud 9 from 1987. So these 2 albums were the more obvious ones to pick, and I will now go through my 3 personal favorites beside these, so this is basically my top 5. George Harrison from 1979. This self-titled album is very appropriately titled after George himself. It captures the essence of him. A very peaceful album. He just married his wife Olivia and had his child Danny. My favorite songs are Here Comes the Moon and Blow Away, but also the sequence of the first 3 songs on side B, Faster, Dark Sweet Lady, and Your Love is Forever. Extra Texture, read all about it from 1975. This may come as a surprise to some, but I am always mesmerized whenever I'm listening to this album, and I want to listen to it again and again. It's a completely moody album, thoughtful, reflective, and soulful, a mixture of meditation and melancholia. One of my favorite songs is Can't Stop Thinking About You, as well as one of the few upbeat songs, the opening track, You. But it's hard to choose definite favorites because all songs really flow together as a whole for me. And finally, I already mentioned his final album in his lifetime, but his truly final album, Brainwashed from 2002, was posthumously released and together with his first album is certainly at the top of my list. This album was recorded over the course of several years and was finished by his son Danny together with Jeff Lynne, who also gave the previous album, Cloud 9, its distinctive sound. I love the big production on this final opus, another coherent entity of epic songs and recordings. Again, it's hard to pick favorites, but I will mention the title track, Pisces Fish, Stuck Inside a Cloud, and the instrumental track, Mava Blues. I also want to mention 2 albums which were produced by George Harrison consisting of Indian devotional music. The Radha Krishna Temple from 1971 and Ravi Shankar's Chants of India from 1997. Like George Harrison's music, I've been fascinated with his life and personality, his spiritual side, his affection for Indian culture, and his love for gardening and nature. This book, I Me Mine, is one of my most favorite books I've ever read. It collects all of his lyrics, handwritten, with thoughts, reflections, and narration of his life. But in a way, this book is really universal. I kind of consider it as a personal Bible. If you read it all very carefully, including every line of his lyrics, you might understand the meaning of existence, of life and death. It has been enormously inspiring to me. But, like my song and album selection, this is just a personal and subjective perspective. So I'm really curious and want to know, what are your favorite albums and songs of George Harrison? Let me know in the comments below, and let's celebrate his 80th birthday today. I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe I will talk about other music or even films on another Saturday evening. But tomorrow we will be back in Stockholm with Agneta. Alright, until then, hej då!